Hey everybody, Johnny B. Good here. I thought I'd share this beautiful scenery here. I think we are located somewhere in Port Bridger, Wyoming. All right, once again, the local time here is 10:38 a.m. Temperature is at beautiful 44 degrees. We are down to 801 miles to the city of Industry, California. And also, I'm trying to make a habit of sharing with you the load that we have. We have a load of cheese from Belgioso cheese. I don't know what kind of cheese it is. It is a cheese, and it's weighing around 33,000 pounds. Scheduled delivery date, once again, it is Saturday at 7 a.m. But since it's only 800 miles from here to there, and we have 8 hours and 24 minutes remaining to drive, I'm hoping that we could make it to Whiskey Pete's, Nevada. Also, there's some kind of how do I say this? Many of you have been asking the procedures and what truck driving is about, and how to get in it, what trucking is like, you know. Well, once again, I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I've been out of the loop as far as how to get into it. What are the required laws now? I mean, I don't really keep up with all that stuff, but I would imagine if you really want to find out, investigate what trucking is, I can tell you this: there's no amount of research and answers out there that will satisfy you and tell you really just have to try it. But I can tell you this: if you have a good job right now, a good paying job, and I'm going to use Toby as an example. All right, Toby, well, probably many of you don't know who Toby is. Toby is a school teacher for public school in Indiana. Well, he's not really a teacher in a sense. He's a teacher for the teachers. He teaches teachers how to use computers, and he teaches teachers how to use computers in the school system and how to integrate stuff and how to do this and do that. So, but Toby has been in public school for, I'd say, 14, 15 years. He's been in it for a very long time. He does not have any complaints as far as benefits. He does not have any complaints as far as earnings is concerned. The only thing that Toby really hates about it is he's stuck in school. He's stuck in a building. He wants to be out here. He has this view that truck driving is so much more fun and so much more, you know, liberating and not so boring. And so anyway, about a year and a half ago, I put out, before Toby came into the picture, I put out a video entitled "So You Want to Be a Truck Driver," and may I suggest that you watch that video so you guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I put out this video and said, so you want to be a truck driver? I said, before you dive into it, find a local truck driver in your neighborhood or someone you know, and asked if you could ride with, with him, her, and instead of looking at that billboard, reading the promises of what truck driving is about. I said, find out firsthand from your neighbor what trucking is really about before you spend all the money in truck driving school. So anyway, about a couple of months later, when Toby saw that, he called me up. And by the way, I suggested on the video, I says, if you don't find a truck driver in your neighborhood, and if you don't know anyone that can give you a ride, give me a call, and I would I'd gladly give you a ride, be the passenger. And so anyway, out of the blue, Toby gives me a call, interested in taking me on my offer as a passenger. I couldn't believe it. But since I put out the video telling Dad that anyone can just ride with me for a week or two, and to make the story short, Toby asked me to ride with me. And if you also want to watch that video, type in somehow JBG Travels Toby. I think one of those videos should come up. So Toby, anyway, rode with me from Joliet, Illinois. He drove his car from Joliet, Illinois. No, from Indiana, from his house to Joliet, Illinois. Left his car at the terminal. And then Toby became a passenger of mine and flew for until, let's see, we went all the way to Gooding, Idaho. No, we went to Boise, Idaho. Then we went to Gooding, Idaho. And we got caught in a blizzard somewhere in Wyoming. So Toby got to see firsthand the adverse weather and effects to winter driving. He even got himself a chance to chain up, using snow tire chains, and that was kind of my second time to do it. So anyway, to make the story short, Toby got exposed into truck driving firsthand, and I said to Toby, I said, you better think really hard before committing into this truck driving, because you have a very good job at home, a job that you can't always just leave and get it back whenever you want to. And I think Toby kind of appreciated that, because it wasn't all that glamorous as he thought it would be. Because I exposed him into the real world of trucking. He is a little bit more cautious of diving into it and leaving what he's got. But he's still, until today, he still has the itch to go trucking, but he's not in a hurry. So now back to the topic of the video of how does one get into truck driving. Well, I would imagine you go to a truck driving school, enroll in your truck driving community college or accredited college, whatever. I don't know how much they cost now or how long or what the procedures are. But if you live around the Midwest area, if you live in Wisconsin, this one of the best schools, I think, in the Midwest is called the Fox Valley Tech. They are located in Appleton, Wisconsin. So anyway, you go through the schooling process, the learning process, and then you apply. Chances are every graduation day there are recruiters from all over truck driving school, from truck driving companies. They go into the school and they will recruit you right off the class. And for many of them, they will even reimburse your monthly tuition for as long as you work for the company. So you graduate, you apply for a job, you get hired. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna be a student driver. You're gonna go with a trainee. It's gonna be kind of like a OGT. You're gonna be like an apprentice, which you will get paid real dirt cheap. I don't know, $300 a week, regardless of what you drive, for a couple of weeks or even a couple of months. It all depends on your progress, I guess. And then once your instructor feels that you are capable of driving on your own, more than likely, if you drive for CRST, they will find another newly released student and you will drive as a co-driver. So that's what I can testify to anyway. When I graduated from truck driving school, I went with CRST, went with a trainer. After releasing from a trainee status, then I became a co-driver status. And with CRST, they don't really have solo drivers. Not in my day anyway. I don't know what they have today. I would imagine it'd still be the case. Recently, somebody asked me, is it fun to drive a truck? Or is it fun to be a truck driver? You know, truck driving is not all about fun. It's just like every job there is in the world, whether you're a lowly janitor or a president, there's always a downfall on the job. There's always days that are just grueling and torturing, and you know, but trucking can be satisfying, can be rewarding, can be, it can certainly pay off, a rewarding career, but it can also be very, very, very tough. It can be very tough on your health, very tough on your family life. Not too long ago, I asked someone what's the average lifespan of a truck driver, and it was 61. That's pretty short. 61 years old for an average life of a trucker. And you also have to consider Are you a homely guy? Are you a homely person? You know, do you enjoy the comforts of home, the stability of home, and sleeping in your own bed, your own environment, seeing regular people that you know? And one more thing that you really got to consider is find out what their divorce rate is for truckers. It's pretty high, I bet you. It's pretty high. So, yeah, there's a sense of what would be the word? You know, sense of paying your dues, or paying, I don't know. There's a cost of being a truck driver, I guess. But I guess that's in every job. And from what I gather from a lot of questions of a lot of people out there that want to be a truck driver, is they want to be a truck driver because they're utterly bored of their life. They think what they got is so, the job they have is so boring and so, yeah, boring. Mostly the word boring. They're just bored out of their minds. Well, if you're gonna be a truck driver because you're bored, think about this. How long would it be until you become bored of this job? For many of us truck drivers out here that's been on the road for a very long time, it's not even, we don't even really, we don't look at things like we used to. I'll give you an example, okay? Every time I go through Las Vegas, I see this glimmering lights and wow, what a majestic view and all that. But let me ask you this, for the people that live in Las Vegas, do you think they still see those lights the way tourists does? Another example is, if you and I travel to New York and we see the Statue of Liberty, we have this sense of awe and just fascinated with that statue, right? But how often do you think those New Yorkers stop and look at this Statue of Liberty? For many, it's just there. They don't even bother to look at it. It just, the glamour is gone, the awe is gone. So if you want to get into trucking because you think it's fun, well, I'll tell you this, it'll be fun for a while, and then what? You're gonna be off to another adventure? Well, I mean, if you can afford to change job all the time, change career because you're bored out of that, well, good for you. But if you're someone out there who's like me, just struggling paycheck to paycheck, and you want to find something, well, here's one thing that I do have to say positive about trucking. A lot of companies out there, a lot of manufacturing companies, especially manufacturing companies, are disappearing left and right in the United States, going overseas. It's I've known some people who work in a factory for 10, 20, 15 years, and next thing they know, they're laid off. The company is broke, bankrupt, gone, and they're done. Well, trucking company will always be there. As that company that you work for may not be around, but for as long as you keep yourself a good driving record, there's always a company out there next door that was always looking for truck drivers to hire. There's not enough truck drivers out here in the United States to supply all the demands. Although it's recently been said that the fewer truck drivers on the road, the better for us truck drivers on the road. The supply and demand, right? So yeah, do me a favor, don't be a truck driver, because the more the more truck drivers on the road, the more I have to compete, the lesser my pay is. Get it? Yeah, but anyway, there's always that. There's always, trucking will always be around as long as this country is running. This country can't run without trucks. And so there's always that, aspect of it. But you also got to consider, truck driving for most pays a lot more than what you can make locally. But here's the big but. For somebody that works in a factory, chances are that guy will work in that factory for as long as that factory exists. As long as he can keep himself disciplined to keep working, what are the chances of him losing that job? Not really all that high risk, right? Well, in truck driving, it's a high risk job. One day you could make one simple mistake and your career is done. One simple mistake and you end up being killed. One simple mistake, you could end up killing someone. So the job security of a truck driver is not always as good as the local paying job. Look, I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm trying to tell you it is what it is. It is something that you have to weigh in and consider. Truck driving fun? Well, it can be a very, very lonely life. I don't know how I would survive out here on the road without, first and foremost, without the Spirit of Jesus Christ in my heart. I don't know if I could survive it out here. Every day I'm surrounded with thousands of people I see on the road. Each one I will never see again. I will never meet, never get to talk to. Although sometimes the only people I get to meet on the road is, the fuel clerks, the restaurant waitresses, people in a truck stop that I often visit. Those are about the only people I get to see that I will see again over and over again, and yet they have no idea who I am, because they see thousands and thousands of truck drivers, and of course they can't remember all the truck drivers, but from our point of view as a truck driver, we certainly remember them, you know. Once again, the thing that drives me and keeps me on the road is, especially recently, that I realized that through your job, through my job, I can show my praising, my worship, my glorifying God. This is the job that He has given me, and I had to do it the best way I knew possible to glorify Him, to please Him. And with my understanding and personal relationship with Jesus Christ, it enables me to keep going. And I tell you what, some days out here are just really rough. I also have a family that supports me. That's a very important human aspect of this job. They seem to somehow support me on it and give me the moral support and encouragement, and I really gotta give thanks to the Lord that I have a family that it's just incredible. I don't say this often enough, and I don't think I've ever said it on video, that my family they're great. My kids, none of my kids are into drugs. My wife doesn't run around. I've seen and heard of families of truck drivers out there they are in chaos. They don't know where their kids are. The trucker has to call the house all the time to spy on their spouse, to find out where they are, who they're with. Their mind is ripping them apart in 100 miles in each directions, to wondering what they're doing, who they're with, and I tell you what, in my earlier days, I've had that, and it is the worst torture in the world. And right now, I can honestly say, I don't worry about that. That's not even a concern of mine. And to have that alone is the ammunition that I have to keep going. I don't think I could survive. I don't think I could survive out here with all that headaches and problems as some other truckers go through. It's just, they'll drive you insane.